Hey everybody, welcome back to No German News. It's Adam22 here with your man AD. Let's get right into these stories. So, over the weekend, the fight between the TikTokers and the YouTubers went down. It was much anticipated. Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall had hinted about a fight back in December 2020, and after months of waiting, fans finally got to watch their favorite content creators throw hands in the ring. This was the second social media boxing match in a row, following up on the Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather fight from last weekend. The YouTube content creators seemed focused on winning as FaZe Jarvis and DDG both won their fights. However, TikTok got their first win when Vinny Hacker managed to defeat Deji. Despite this, YouTube creators managed to have their win as Austin ultimately won against Bryce Hall. The fights at the YouTuber versus TikTok event were named the Battle of the Platforms, and it lasted for only 5 rounds each for 2 minutes. DDG managed to defeat Nate Wyatt. It was clocked in as a unanimous decision victory. He won all 5 rounds, and the judges gave him a few 10-8 rounds to top it off. The fight itself involved a lot of hugging from Nate as he couldn't cope with DDG's charges. Nate Wyatt didn't land many punches of his own, and by the end of the match, TikTok was down 4-0 to YouTube. DDG alerted fans that he barely put any real effort into the fight.
Honestly, I left the strip club last night. I wasn't even training for this fight. I've honestly felt like, not to be funny or nothing, but I felt like he wasn't gonna last that whole time. It's a lot of respect to Nate. This is like my finale on YouTube. I'm quitting YouTube for good. So this is my last little finale of this fight. One and done. Unless, the only way I'll step in the ring again if it's with a rapper.
Okay, so then next, Vinny Hacker defeated Deji. You guys know Deji, right? KSI's younger brother. Well, he started the fight off well after he won the first round. However, it all went wrong right at the beginning of the 3rd round. Deji held his own, but only briefly as Vinny started to dominate before the ref finally called the fight as Deji was gassed out. He went down seemingly out of nowhere and couldn't hold on as Vinny punched away, giving TikTok its first winner of the night. Okay, so then next, YouTuber FaZe Jarvis, who I believe is still banned from Fortnite. He took out Michael Lee in round 2, highlighting the first true knockout of the night that immediately sparked major attention on social media. Michael came out fast and let his hands go in round 1, but FaZe Jarvis stayed calm and showed superior boxing skills. He scored 2 standing 8 counts and had Lee in serious trouble. Jarvis said in his post-fight interview that he is 100% going to continue his boxing career. Okay, so then next, Austin Broom finished the night with a clear victory over Bryce Hall, earning the TKO. The first round immediately popped off as the referee took a point away from Bryce Hall in the first few seconds. Nevertheless, Austin had some strong punches in the first 2 rounds, but really turned up in round 3. He sent a charge of punches directly at Bryce Hall's head when the ref eventually stopped the fight, ending in a TKO. The two had allegedly put up a bet against one another that they'd have to pay the other a $1 million bonus in the event of a knockout, but since the referee intervened, it's not clear if Bryce Hall would be paying up. Okay, so we didn't actually mention this here, but I do want to mention that I was really rooting for Taylor Holder, and he ended up basically getting his ass kicked by Gibb, which was pretty shameful. And then I also had another tweet where I was basically saying that Bryce Hall was going to win, rooting for Bryce Hall, and then he proceeded to get his ass kicked. So both of the TikTokers there, they're like best buddies, and they've been kind of running around the streets, terrorizing everybody and all that. Not everybody, but you know, in general, just sort of making it clear that they're badasses. And they both got beat up. So I probably shouldn't be predicting this anymore.
No, because you was wrong about the Lamar and Aaron Carter shit for sure.
What are you talking about? Lamar beat Aaron Carter's ass.
You said, and we can go back to the clips, that Aaron Carter was going to dog walk Lamar Odom.
Did I seriously say that? If I said that, I was clearly joking.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
Hell no. There was no way that there was not a fight on this night that was anywhere close to as one-sided as Lamar Odom versus Aaron Carter.
Yeah, that was funny. And then, you know, watching this, I was really watching all the fights. In my head, I said, damn, it seemed like YouTube is for the streets. They grinding, they doing their thing. And the TikTokers, man, I got to step y'all weight up, bro. That's kind of embarrassing for the platform.
I mean, it does kind of make sense because when you think about like being a YouTuber, you kind of need to be able to form a coherent thought. And not that TikTokers don't always do that, but like when you look at Bryce Hall or you look at Taylor Holder, I mean, a lot of their posts on TikTok are kind of just them just sort of shaking around, looking cute, like, you know, sort of voguing for the camera, whatever. And I mean, that just kind of infers that I think a lot of the YouTubers were older, like even Austin McBroom's way older than Bryce Hall, which, you know, is not always gonna matter, but in this case, I mean, you were looking at somebody who was like a way bigger, stronger guy than Bryce Hall, and that just clearly had a big advantage for him.
I think, and I honestly like what's happening right now. You know, it seems like going forward, if anybody got problems with each other, they can make some money and they can beat the dog shit out of each other. Sounds great. We need to do some podcast wars. I'm down to get in the ring.
Maul.
You did this again.
I just want to say this, though, is that Okay, YBN Namir and YBN Almighty J, formerly YBN Almighty J, now just Almighty J. Like when they were beefing, like it was clear. I watched Jay's video about Namir and everything. They got problems with each other. And I think it's actually a really positive thing that Jay basically said, hey, like we can do a fight and make a whole shitload of money from dealing with our issues like that. I mean, that's way more positive than like what, a shootout, a fist fight, like behind closed doors. All that shit is gonna land somebody in jail. It's gonna be a whole bunch of problems, street problems, legal problems. Meanwhile, them two dudes could probably make a couple $1 million each if they went in the boxing ring against each other, which to be totally honest, at this point in their career, I feel like they could very, very much so use a couple $1 million.
Me too.
Me too. I don't know. I mean, years ago when the Soulja Boy and Chris Brown fight didn't happen, I feel like that kind of put a curse on hip hop boxing. But now you have all the YouTubers and TikTokers down, and then you even have somebody like DDG down to hop in. It seems like, okay, now I think the stage is set for enough rappers to actually be down at the same time to actually let this happen. And I think Namir and Jay should be the headliner, or at the very least, a very significant fight on that.
You just sparked something. Did Soulja Boy create this as well?
I mean, probably not, because realistically, the dude from Onyx got beat up by the fucking snowboarder like a million years ago on MTV. But I do think Soulja Boy was ahead of the time on it, although I also still think that Chris Brown probably would have beat the shit out of Soulja Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. No, but that's crazy that he had the vision, and now that this is happening left and right now.
You just need enough rappers to be willing to put their ego on the shelf and just say, all right, like I'm down to take the risk of getting beat up in order to make a ludicrous amount of money, because so many of these YouTubers and TikTokers are doing it that I think that the rappers are kind of probably looking at it and thinking like, well, I could probably do that too. But the difference is that in rap, if you take an L, it might be viewed differently. Like, I mean, I don't think that Bryce Hall's career is over. I don't really think anybody's gonna give a fuck or talk about this in a couple weeks, especially because he went in there and really fought with all his heart and didn't act like a bitch at all. But with rappers, I don't know. If I saw you get beat up by Styles P in the ring, I don't know, like what, you're walking the streets of LA as the guy who lost the boxing match, and I don't know, as a rapper, that is a big ass liability.
But honestly, as long as you get in that ring, it's much respect. Now, if you get knocked out, that's a whole different story. Like Nate Robinson that fucked it up for everybody right now. People are afraid of getting KO'd, and that was like a real KO. But yeah, I mean, you're not gonna win every fight. If I get in a boxing ring and I get beat the fuck up, cool. As long as I go the round, go the ringer.
And if you think about it, like Deji though, when I watched Deji in that fight, I was like, bro, that's humiliating right there. Just because he got beat up bad by a dude who like didn't really look like he should beat him up. And I don't know, it's something about that too though. If you show up in the ring and you're ripped, then I feel like that's kind of like a big part of the W, is that you just got to look really good out there. Deji came in fat as shit. I mean, that's like that's a whole L right there. If you just come in looking like a big old pile of doo-doo.
But the way he was looking at him, though, I was just like, oh yeah, he's about to fuck this kid up. And nope, got the shit beat out of him.
I don't know where Deji goes from here, because his whole career has just been filled with so many embarrassing L's of all different sizes and shapes, and it's like he just needed a W so bad at this point, because like his YouTube career is on the ropes, no pun intended. His YouTube career is not doing that good, so the boxing shit is like kind of the only thing that it really looked like might work for him. I don't really know. He said he was like announcing a big old social media and YouTube break. I don't know. If somebody's career is already not in a great place and they take an L in one of these fights, it can be kind of hard to imagine where they go from there.
Let me ask you, are you willing to get in the ring for the right price?
Hell yeah.
I got my money on you.
Let's go. I don't know who I'm going to fight, but I'm with it. I can't fight any POCs, though. I got to fight a white boy.
You what?
I'm not racist.
All right.
YouTube, do us a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back real soon with more heat. Appreciate y'all.